So, good morning, Panther fans. Morning, Stu.
Good morning, Eric. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Flying Fluffy Sports, the number one Panther fan podcast in the world. As you can see, Eric and I are rocking the new merch. You too can be part of the channel by purchasing the gorgeous t-shirt. The material is really soft. Boy, Eric, you really outdid yourself here. And then we have coffee mugs.
Yes. And on the back of the shirts,
there he is.
Yeah, there we go.
There he is. So anyway, I'm rocking the t-shirt. Eric's rocking the long sleeve. So Eric's going to post the link.
Yep.
On the video.
Yes.
So go out and support the channel and look cool.
Yeah. All proceeds are donated to the Flying Fluffy CBD Association so that I can get 3 $60 bottles of CBD oil a month, which is really what they should get, as opposed to the 2 that I can afford currently.
And look at that handsome guy on the right, huh?
Yeah, I know, right? He's got them chubby cheeks with the
yeah,
cigar.
That's the thing that
Look, you can complain about your chubby cheeks. It looks like I got lip gloss on, bro. Okay, right? I mean, I'm all my skin's all air. I mean, I've definitely got a filter on here. Okay. All right. So, there was a hockey game last night, and that was the least disappointed I've ever been with the Panthers losing a playoff game that I can remember. I mean, for the first 2 periods, I mean, some people say we dominated. Some people didn't. I say, all right, let's just agree to disagree and say first 2 periods were at least even. Okay. And look, the goals that were scored, yes, Lyon gave up the one that he would like to have back. But that third goal, I mean, if you look up playoff goal in the dictionary, that's the goal. That's the third goal.
Yeah. Well, I really recommend everybody watch Eric's recap because he pretty much said it all. We start off the game with 2 penalties, which is, suicide. I mean, we talked about how important it is for this team to stay out of the freaking penalty box. Right. We don't have the best penalty kill, and just. I mean, if you look at the goal by Pasternak,
right?
I don't know. I know one was good. Gudis and Stahl were on the ice, and that puck got through both of them to Pasternak, and it was a putt tap in. But after that, we started taking control.
Yeah, and I want to clarify something I said in the recap. It's to your point, because Jason brought up the 2 penalties. A lot of people feel like the Ekblad thing wasn't really a trip. I'm not going to disagree with that part, but 30 seconds later, Brandon Montour literally slashed Marchand in the face with his stick, and there was no call. So I have a feeling the refs figured, okay, we're going to call the next thing that even looks close, because technically we should have already been on the power play for a Montour high stick. So go ahead.
Okay.
Or power.
One thing I really like.
Can't talk.
The Panthers were banging bodies.
Yeah.
Like every time a Bruin had the puck, he was getting checked. So what was happening was I really think that we had the Bruins on their heels for a large portion of that first period.
Yeah.
And you could tell because the Bruins were icing it. They were doing that alley-oop, just get it out of the zone.
Yeah.
And we were just taking it to them. The unfortunate thing is we couldn't really sustain, offensive zone time.
Right.
And we couldn't score. We weren't getting those good quality scoring chances. Omar, we know he was under the weather, and he was giving up a ton of rebounds.
Yeah.
And nobody was in front.
Right.
To capitalize.
Yeah.
So,
a couple of things that I saw, face-off wise. 2 things was happening. Number one, we had a defensive zone face-off. We're winning the draw. We're getting the puck on our stick, and we're so antsy to clear the puck that we're screwing it up. I mean, Forsling had a lot of them, but everybody was doing it. It was like the second they get the puck on their stick, like, oh, I got to get rid of this. And I can't count how many times we won the face-off, got the puck, and then gave it right back to Boston. And then the opposite in the offensive zone, those are the draws we were losing. So it was very, very frustrating because we're watching the game and it's like you're watching it and you're like, we can beat these guys. I mean, look, I'm not sitting there saying we can definitely win this series, but it's not like we're sitting there and it's like, 7-1 after 2 and it's like, oh my God, it's super team, David versus Goliath.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think, look, there's going to be nerves. Right. And you could tell that the Panthers were nervous.
Yeah.
I've never seen Gustav Forsling have a bad game like he had last night. Of all games to have a bad night. I mean, he's your most rock steady defenseman that we have.
Forsling was so bad he made Ekblad look good last night. Okay. That's how bad Forsling was.
It's just mind-boggling.
I know. And it kept happening. You understand, one mistake, two mistake. But past that, I said it in the recap, and I still feel like they went out there in the third period and were like, just don't waste any energy.
Yeah, we'll talk. Let's hold off on that.
Okay,
we'll get to that because I started thinking about it after I watched your recap.
Right.
And I'm like, man, Eric's onto something there. Okay, so because this is the game review, so let's just continue.
Gotcha.
So, all right. So then we get a great goal by Chucky on a defensive mistake, which is what I told you guys. Playoff hockey, great goaltending, but usually a goal is scored on a defensive mistake. Seen it time and time and time again. Right. And Tkachuk made a great move, and so now we're to. Oh no, excuse me. We got to talk about the Marchand goal, the rat, the number one.
Yeah,
I told you, Marchand, Tom Wilson.
Right.
Gudas was number 3, but he plays for us now.
Yeah,
so he's off the list. But of all players, and what really gets me is it was just a nothing shot.
Right.
And Lyon flubbed it. Okay, listen, he made so many great saves.
Right.
In that period that it could have been 5-1.
Yes.
Excuse me. It could have been 5-0 because this is before the second goal was scored.
Right.
But anyway, so now we're down 2, and 3 minutes later we come back. So, momentum is everything in hockey.
Right.
And I really thought, here we go. We're going to tie it up. So, unfortunately, that goal, I mean, should the whistle have been blown? Yes and no.
Well, if the ref saw the puck, it's not like he's going to tell everybody. It's like, I still see the puck on his pad,
And I've watched the replay at least 3 or 4 times.
Right.
The referee was on the other side. He wasn't on the right side where he would have had a clean view of that puck on his pad. So, I don't know. But listen, puck luck, whatever you want to call it. We didn't get the whistle. And now it's 3-1. Game over.
Yeah.
After that, you could just tell that the Panthers, that the air in the balloon had gone out. And that brings me to your point.
Right.
Because you're right. The comeback Cats, when they're down, they play desperate hockey.
Yeah.
And that third period was a bomb.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't want to. I want to wrap my head about what you said and think, well, maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. We've lost game 1. Let's stay. But I don't want to think that way. But
I know. I mean, I don't think
that's the way they played. Like
that's the way they played. I mean, the hitting stopped. I mean, all of the energy just stopped. And whether they did it on purpose or not, I mean, I doubt they genuinely did it on purpose. But the effect is the same thing. We're certainly not going into game 2 having expended like last year's game 4 when we lost to the Lightning, the third period. I mean, we left. I mean, there was blood, sweat, and tears on the ice. You know what I mean? We left it all out there. We're certainly not heading into game 2 exhausted from a hard, heavy third period. So, look, most people probably figured we were going to lose game one anyway. I didn't see anything last night that makes me think we can't win some games in this series.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you look at the first period, I give that to the Panthers. If you look at the beginning of the second period, I give that to the Panthers. It's only when the third goal again.
Yeah.
2-1 going into the third, you got a game.
Right.
3-1.
Right.
And they can't take anything away from the Bruins. Best team ever. But we can play with these guys.
Yes.
And I think what would change the whole dynamics is if we can come out in game 2 and grab a 1 or 2 goal lead.
Right.
I'd like to see a goal within the first 5 minutes, a deflection, a rebound, a snipe, or Verhaeghe goal. The guy that really has to step up his game is Alexander Barkov.
Yes.
Because it just can't be another postseason where he disappears.
Right.
And that power play was
so
laughable.
Bad. Laughable, yeah.
And again, good on Boston and their penalty kill, which was number 1 in the league.
I mean, something like 85%. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah. So, that's it. I mean,
look, I know Lyon gave up the goal. We didn't lose the game because of Lyon, and we probably stayed in the game because of Lyon because there was some ridiculous saves he made. But in terms of the lineup, past getting Bennett back, which obviously is a need. Zito made this whole big thing about, with this big smile on his face about how Duke was our trade deadline acquisition. And no, for a couple of games when he had fresh legs, it looked like, okay, he might, but it's just regressing to the point that we're going to have to go top heavy on that top 6, and I wouldn't even move Duke down to the third line. I would move him to the fourth line and to give us a more viable third line. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to do this, but his game is the speed. And you saw it a couple times last night where he's putting himself into position and he's getting the puck and he's even with the defender in the offensive zone, even with the guy. And he don't have the wheels to even get ahead of the defender at that point, and the puck's getting taken away. And
last year he blows by that guy.
Right.
So, like you said, we both, when he came back, both of us, I think, said maybe he's coming back too early. Maybe he should have just sat out the whole season. So I figured, you know what? I'll give him 5 games.
Right.
And I knew right away, this kid is 75% of what he was.
Yeah.
And think about the scoring chances that he's had, 2-on-1s, breakaways. He didn't put one puck in the net. The only goal he had was an empty netter. And then, the last game, whatever was, the goalie let it through his 5-hole. But
your Wi-Fi is cutting out, bro.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, you're freezing up on my end, so hopefully we're okay.
Well, you were freezing up on my end.
I see. Great. So that means it's mine. I've been having.
Yeah, it's yours. Yeah, anyway, so let's move on because there's nothing we're going to be able to do about it. What I'd like to see is Giovanni Smith taken out.
Right.
Put Dalpe in.
Right.
Much better player. We don't need an enforcer in this series. He's useless. I'm sorry.
Right.
Nothing personal, bro. It's strictly business.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Duclair definitely should not be on the top line.
Right.
But as far as, so let's assume, well, we won't assume. Let's just say, all right, Bennett's not in the lineup. So what I was saying last night on the post game was you put Barkov, Verhaeghe, and Tkachuk on the top line. And then you got Luosterainen, Lundell, and Reinhardt on the second line.
Right.
And that's your top six. And then obviously, Stahl, Lomberg, and Cousins.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then I don't know what you do about the fourth line. But,
I don't know. You just roll three lines, guys.
I'm sure if we're thinking it, they're thinking it. Maurice and his staff.
Right.
But yeah, we really got to go full guns with those top six, and they can get the job done.
Right.
And I think when Tkachuk plays with Barkov, I just think he elevates his game.
We're going to need to do it. We're going to need to do it. I understand that they keep putting Duke out there, hoping that, you kind of hope that he'd play his 20, 25 games, whatever it was, and that he would get back to normal. But it's just not happening. So look, we lose game one, and now game two is everything, right? As we saw against Tampa Bay last year. Remember, we lost game one to the Capitals too.
Yep. Yep.
So certainly
we're known for that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, what's it been since 1997 that we've won game, that we haven't won a game one. So that's it. It's short and sweet this morning, man. It was a long day yesterday, and I'm not going to there's I think the time to really dissect everything and see the direction everything is going is after game two.
Okay, so here's the debate. Now, obviously, last night when they did the NHL Tonight, they analyzed the game. They didn't really speak about the Panthers at all, other than Lyon and his lack of playoff experience. And, they didn't talk about how Lyon's the reason why we're in the playoffs.
Right.
Because if not for him, especially, the last 8 games, we don't make it. So, Of course, they're saying now we need to go with Bob. We need, how do you have a $10 million goalie sitting on the bench? Well, if the other guy's playing better,
right.
I don't care what the guy's making. So, my opinion, you give Lyon another start.
Yeah.
I don't think, other than the Marchand goal, even that third goal, but other than the Marchand goal, he's played really solid. Bob's an unknown.
At this point.
Because either we get Vezina Bob, or we get the Bob that gives up a soft goal in the first 2 minutes.
And that's the thing, is we've seen Bob give up plenty of soft goals. Not saying he would have definitely, given up that softy, but there's no guarantee he makes some of those ridiculous saves Lyon was making. It's just not the issue right now. You got to score more than one goal. We've scored 4 goals in our last 5 playoff games.
Absolutely. And we have one of the best offenses in the league. So
yeah.
So you're right, short but sweet. So here's I'm throwing this out to everybody, the comments. So number 1, what do you guys think about what we said about Duclair? What's your opinion? Number 2, Bob versus Lyon. And then you want to talk about anything else, Barkov, the lack of the power play being awful, our penalty killing, won't say awful, but not good. Let us know what you think. I did go through all the comments from the previous video, and I started answering everybody. So if you guys put out comments on this video, I'll answer them.
Okay.
Eric will do the same. So we just got to come out. I like the aggressiveness, but we need to put the puck in the net.
Right.
I mean, we really need 4 goals. We need 4 goals, guys.
Agreed.
1 goal, 2 goals ain't gonna get it done. We need 4 goals. What we need is a 2-0 lead going into the second period.
Right.
Even 2-1. So.
All right. Hope you appreciate or hope you enjoy I appreciate it. But I hope you enjoyed all the content we pumped out this weekend. Don't forget, we're going to still be streaming the Toronto-Tampa Bay series tonight. I'll have the podcast out later. I'll have the link in the description to the Teespring store. There's other merch. But we'll put the link in the description for this video. And all funds go to the Flying Fluffy CBD Association and the Jaws Needs a Second Internet Connection Association.
Well, what about the Stewart Pocket Society?
The what? The Stu Cigar Society?
Yeah, that's a good one. Hey, listen, did you notice we got 200 more subscribers? It's now 6.17.
Yeah, no, that's not 200 more. That's 20 more.
Oh, 20 more. Yeah. All right. Well, you know what, guys? We get a lot of views on our videos. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I don't know why, but hit the like button.
Yeah,
okay?
hit the like. Yeah,
hit the like button. Yeah. That's the first thing I do when I turn on Eric's videos. I hit the like button.
Yeah, that does help.
It's good for the channel. So if we get 900 views or 700 views, whatever, and we're only getting maybe 100 views, that means like 90% of the people are not liking it. So if you don't like it, then don't hit the like button.
Just don't hit the.
But if you like,
we get dislikes too. They just don't show it.
All right, anymore. You could do that. Yeah. But if you like the video, please, guys, just hit the like button. All right. Yeah. On this video, I'd like to see that you were listening to me, and then we get 600-700 views, and we get 200 likes.
Oh, that'd be something.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. We appreciate all the support. I'll see you again later with the podcast. And then, of course, I'll see you again tonight.